What's up, guys? It's your boy Jake here, back with another video.
Hello.
In today's video, sorry if you hear like rumbling, it's an air conditioner. In this video, I got prepared 10 shocking GoPro moments, and so let's just get into it. And here we go. That video, the music might be copyright. Turn this off. Okay. Wait, what's going on? Wait, is this skydiving? What happened? What happened? What happened?
The planes were there with the intentions of going skydiving, meaning that everyone involved in the wreck had come aboard with their very own parachute. For them, the collision resulted in nothing more than minor injuries to two of them. The crash happened on a bright Saturday evening over Superior, Wisconsin, near the Minnesota state line. The two single-engine planes were maneuvering into a position called a tracking dive, which is when one plane is closely following the other just before the skydivers prepare their jump. However, as seen captured on the cameras, one plane ended up flying underneath the other. In the confusion, the pilots unknowingly quickly closed the gap between the two planes and slammed into each other, causing catastrophic damage to the plane's propellers, wings, and bodies. In addition, upon impact, Daniel Chandler, one of the skydivers, was pinned between the planes and then thrown into the open skies, after which the rest of the divers followed suit. One by one, they poured out of the wreckage into the safety of the sky. The falling cameraman turns to look back at the debris just as the lower plane's engine erupts into a fiery sight. At that point, the pilot realized it was a lost cause and is seen diving out of the wreckage using his emergency chute. Despite that, the other pilot chose to remain inside the cockpit of his plane. Luckily for him, the plane he was piloting hadn't caught fire and it was able to limp to a safe landing. As for the rest, they parachuted down safely into an open field. Much to their relief, the abandoned plane spiraled down into an empty field. As crazy dangerous as it seems on the GoPro footage, of all the mid-air collisions to have, this one probably happened in the most ideal of circumstances. Although the farmer whose field was ruined by a crashing plane might disagree.
Yeah.
They say justice is best served cold, but sometimes it chooses to be served as two red-hot bullets. On Saturday, October 12, 2013 in Sao Paulo, a helmet-mounted GoPro captured a Brazilian robber getting shot after trying to steal a motorcycle. The footage went viral after it was published on YouTube and shared on social media sites. The cameraman riding on a motorcycle is seen approaching an intersection when another motorcyclist and his passenger pull in front of him. The passenger on the other motorcycle points a pistol directly at the cameraman, who quickly steps off the bike. The biker hands over his keys to the gunman, who then attempts to flee with the newly acquired motorcycle. However, before he is able to drive off, a man exits a car sitting next to them, pulls a gun, and shouts at the thief. The heroic stranger turns out to be an off-duty police officer. The officer demanded for the thief to step away from the stolen bike. Instead, he retaliates by pointing his firearm at the officer. The officer responds by unloading 2 shots into him. The bullets hit the robber in the abdomen and leg, causing him to drop to the ground. After the video ends, an ambulance rushes to the thief to rush the young man away. The 18-year-old survived wounds, but was slapped with a long prison sentence.
Good.
A Russian paraglider experienced the fright of a lifetime when his parachute accidentally nabbed an additional passenger while he was soaring miles above the Indian Himalayas. The man, an experienced paraglider nicknamed Paravolka by the paragliding community, was enjoying his glide down back to Earth when he had the misfortune of colliding with an adult griffin vulture. The vulture became entangled in the ropes and compromised the effectiveness of the parachute. Before he knew...
This is a kid-friendly channel, so...
But as Ager goes to clamp in, he loses his footing and stumbles backward, directly off the steep edge of the cliff. The worst part of the video is his audible "oh" as he realizes he's falling.
Wow.
We then witness from a first-person perspective as he plummets onto jagged rocks protruding from the snow and violently smashes about as he fruitlessly attempts to save himself. Amazingly, he survived the rocky incline and eventually rolled into a snowy patch, where he then let out a gasp of pain before looking up at the route he had fallen down. After releasing the footage online, Ager became a global internet sensation. After his astonishing escape, he said he is thankful he is still in one piece.
It's good.
If these two daredevils are out to prove anything, it's that they're not afraid of heights, which the duo demonstrate by climbing the second largest building in the world, the Shanghai Tower. This is one video you'll be holding your breath for the entirety of. The video was shot during the construction of the building and starts on street level with a masked man, speaking Russian to the cameraman. The two then travel to the base of the tower, scale a wall, and illegally gain access to the site. From there, they stealthily work their way up to the barren interior, being careful not to be noticed by the night guards. First, they start their ascent the easy way by taking the stairs all the way to the top floors, which other than breaking a few laws doesn't seem so extreme. So the daring duo step it up a notch by nonchalantly dangling themselves over the ledge of the 650-meter-tall building, so high up that even when the cameraman attempts to look at the ground, his view is obstructed by an actual cloud. After deciding that wasn't daring enough, they proceed to climb a construction crane. But they don't just climb the crane, they climb the raised arm as well, which just happens to hang over the building side. The further they climb, the more apparent it becomes how dangerous it is, as they scale vertical scaffolding and horizontal ladders. One slip up and either of these men could easily fall to their death. The video ends once they reach the top of the crane, so we can only assume they made it back down safely. Otherwise, who would have uploaded the video?
True. That would be scary.
This is one good deed that didn't go unpunished. A moose tracker releases a young moose cow into the wild, only to have it come right back at him swinging. Moose are one of the most dangerous big game animals in North America. Every year, people are mauled and killed by the giant mammal. This attackee caught his life-threatening experience on a GoPro camera. The moose in the video was staged to be released after she had been properly tagged. The tracker had her brought out to a secluded opening in the forest so he could remove her restraints. However, once removed, instead of running away as he planned, the moose chose to confront the man. Reining on its back legs, the moose aggressively pushes him down, kicking him numerous times before backing off. The man stayed surprisingly calm, even joking about the calf's anger issues, which must have struck another nerve with her, since she attacked him again, knocking him back down. The man attempts to shield his face, but the effort is fruitless against the over 400-pound beast. Soon it backs off again, but the tracker had stopped moving and we begin to fear the worst. Luckily, the man was not seriously harmed and was able to stand up and distance himself from the moose. He quickly snaps another well-timed joke at the moose, who still seems to dislike his sense of humor. This time, before it is able to charge again, the man grabs a nearby fallen tree and chucks it at the moose's head. The moose finally gets the punchline, shakes its head, and runs off, allowing the video to end on a happy note.
Good, get wrecked, horse.
Matthias Terral and Stephen Loud are both experienced skiers used to tackling the most rigorous mountaintops. But two of them both agreed that they just weren't getting the same adrenaline rush they did from their beloved sport. They decided the missing element was impending doom. To complete this, the duo set out to find freshly snowed mountaintops and actively attempt to start avalanches with the intention of out-skiing it. At the start of the video, nothing seems out of the ordinary. The two stand at the top of the mountain inspecting the landscape. Then Girao starts using his skis to push snow down the hill. Little by little, the snow builds, and Girao hops down the hill to outrace it. A minute into the video, we get another big reveal. They were skiing directly toward a cliff. All planned, of course. The skier flies off the huge drop, deploying their parachutes and gliding safely away from the now massive avalanche. The avalanche actually beat Girao to the edge, meaning he was mere seconds away from being buried under the crushing weight of the snow and whisked off the ledge. The adrenaline junkies landed safely away and excitedly celebrated their successful brush with death. Felix Baumgartner became a household name in October of 2012 for becoming the first person to break the speed of sound and reach an estimated speed of 833.9 miles per hour without the assistance of a vehicular power. The entire event was sponsored by Red Bull, who broadcasted live using GoPro cameras. He accomplished this feat by riding a specialized helium-filled balloon up 128,100 feet, the outskirts of Earth's atmosphere, where he then jumped back down. The jump also celebrates the 65th anniversary of when Chuck Yeager first broke the sound barrier flying in an experimental rocket-powered airplane. Felix's entire trip back to Earth lasted 9 minutes and 9 seconds, with 4 minutes and 22 seconds of that time spent in free fall. Countless millions of people around the world watched live through the GoPros broadcasted to television and the internet. At one point during his freefall, Baumgartner appeared to spin rapidly out of control, but having trained for this moment for the last 5 years, he wasn't exactly about to let that moment ruin him. At first he thought he'd let himself spin a few times and that it would fix itself, but then he started to speed up. At times the speeds were so brutal Baumgartner thought he might lose consciousness. He quickly regained control and moments later opened his parachute. As members of the ground crew cheered and viewers around the world heaved a sigh of relief. Baumgartner said he was so focused trying to stabilize himself that he completely missed the boom of him breaking the sound barrier. He'd have to wait until he landed to find out if he really did it or not. But once the parachute was deployed, the ride down would prove to be relatively uneventful. Baumgartner was able to land safely in the designated area where his team ecstatically greeted him. Later, Baumgartner was informed he had successfully broken the sound barrier, forever cementing his place in history. If there's anything to be learned from these videos, it's that winter is not quite the wonderland we thought it was. The 5-minute video features John Freeman, an experienced mountain guide and rope access supervisor living in Canmore, Alberta, Canada, who survived one of the craziest ice climbing...
That video, make sure to leave it a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe for more daily content because it really helps me out and I really appreciate it if you do. And wait, stop it, stop talking. Stop talking. No, get out of here, Jim. Anyways, you guys heard my voice. Actually, it didn't happen. Editing secrets. anyways, guys. Yeah, so I hope you help you out, and maybe my next video will be, I might make another video today. I don't know. I have to edit, make my thumbnail, I have to record it, edit again, and it's a lot of work, okay? A lot of work. Anyways, love you shoes, toodaloo.